Greetings Gothlings, welcome to Goth Girl Journals. I'm Mina and I am so happy that you could join me today. We are going to be carrying on with Creep on June and this is day one of the daily makes. I'm going to be reading today's poem, The Sleeper. I want to first explain everything that I'm doing, then we can get started and you can kind of understand what's going on. So today's make was this coin envelope. I printed two, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be, please excuse my fingers, I was playing with alcohol ink and I couldn't find gloves. I'm going to be making shakers out of these. You are going to see quite a few techniques today, which I will in follow-up videos explain and start from scratch in that. I'm actually going to be having them upside down, and once they are both closed like so and upside down, I am going to glue them together this way. Go. Right, then we're going to be making a tag that's going to go between the two envelopes, and I'm going to be doing a policy closure over here, and the reason that I'm doing it upside down is because I want to put an eyelet up in the corner. I'm still kind of deciding how I'm going to put these into the main journal, which I will show you again, and I will explain exactly, what my whole little story is and all of that. I just want to get through the makes and then we can pretty up and do the journal and all the other stuff. So I'm going to be cutting a hole here, but not just any hole. I'm going to be cutting a coffin-shaped hole. I'm going to do that with my Sizzix, and then I'm going to do one other thing with my Sizzix while it's out, because it's really heavy and annoying and I actually don't know how I'm going to do this on camera. So I'm going to just do both at the same time so that I can then pack it away and we are done with that part. So I'm just pausing quick and I'm going to set up my Sizzix. Okie dokie, I am back. So I need to remember that my coin envelope needs to be upside down. I'm going to put my cutting die on here, and I actually hadn't thought about this, but I have to fold this. I'm just going to have to straighten it out afterwards. Because I have an A5 die cutter and this is not going to fit, so I have to make it smaller, and obviously I can't close the envelope or fold it under because I don't want this side cut, only this side.
The Sleeper. At midnight in the month of June, I stand beneath the mystic moon. An opiate vapor, dewy, dim, exhales from out her golden rim, and softly dripping, drop by drop, upon the quiet mountain top, steals drowsily and musically into the universal valley.
Two cutouts. Now the other thing that I said I was going to do, this is a little bit experimental. I'm going to use this, it's not necessarily a die, it's more, I'm hoping it's not a die. I haven't actually tried it. Now I'm kind of worried. This should emboss the moon. Please let it emboss the moon. And yeah, I just want to give it a little bit more texture. Some of it seems to have been embossed, and then other bits have been cut. Okay, I will get that out just now. I'm going to pack this puppy away and then I will be back. Okie dokie, I am back. So now I've got two lovely cutouts over here, both in the shapes of coffins. I've kind of straightened this. You can't really see it luckily because of the pattern, but it was unavoidable anyway. Okay, so now I'm going to do a bit of stenciling on the closures. I've chosen this. This week's poem is The Sleeper, which talks about the ocean quite a lot. So I didn't actually read the prompt for today. At midnight in the month of June, I stand beneath the mystic moon. I stand amid the roar of a surf-tormented shore. Okay, so that was the prompt. I don't know, I call it a prompt. I'm not sure what the correct term would be. Okie dokie, so let's now do this. I'm wondering if I should do it in black or brown. I think I'm going to go for brown. Just so it's not, you know, too over the top. And then, you know, we can see how that goes. Technically, I should have one of those, as I say it, one of those sticky mats, or kind of tack it down. I like it, I like it, I like it. Okay, next.
The rosemary nods upon the grave, the lily lolls upon the wave.
I'll show you, actually, I forgot to do that. I'll show you all of the ephemera that's for this week. Some stuff I've added in. It's a little ticket. Most of that stuff was me. And then this came with the kit. So the man standing on the shore. I love this clock. Another man standing on the shore like a cliff, breaking waves. This is all related to the poem. Then we have a mausoleum, waves again. Oh, the man has changed a little bit. And another mausoleum. Okay, so now we need to see what is going to look best on, and what is actually going to cover the coffin, the whole coffin shape. That looks pretty cool for one of them. I like it. What should we do for the second one? Okay, let's see this one. I like it. Okay, so we've picked these two to be the inside pictures. I'm going to just scoosh these away for now, as we just at the moment working with this. All right, so the whole thing is this picture needs to be stuck on the inside here, and then when it goes whoop, then you see it through here, right? So now what I want to do is, just trying to think of the best way to do this so that I can get it where I want it to go. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tiny bit of glue on the back, just so it can tack down. I'm going to position it how I would like it to be. I want to show as much of this mausoleum as I possibly can without, is this skew? No, it's not. Without leaving spaces. Okay, so now it's tacked down, right? This is how I want it. So what I'm going to do now is do a bit of, not a full outline, but I'll do top, bottom, side, side, just so I know where it's supposed to fit. And then I'm going to glue this down properly. Let me quickly do the same with this guy. So I hope guys are crafting along with Crop-A Dile, I am having an absolute ball of a time. This is right up my alley. I like spooky gothic things. I love Poe. I've had his full set of works for years and years. When I came across the book, I was so excited that it had all of his poems and stories, and it's even illustrated. Yeah, so this is something I really, really enjoy. Just the whole theme of it, and just check first. Perfect. See, I've already messed up the order. So I can't stick these down yet. Please come off without tearing. All right. They are going to go exactly how I've put them in. The only thing is that I need to do the closure first so that these can be stuck over the closure. Otherwise it's going to be getting in the way. It will be. I probably don't need to remove this whole thing, but now that I've started, let me just try not tear it really badly. Gosh, I knew I was going to do something in the wrong order. Okay, there's no issues. We'll just stick these back. They've just curled a little bit, but it's fine. Okay, what I need to do now is put the closure in, even before I've closed, glued this closed, because it needs to go under, which means there's going to be a hole. Sorry, this is interfering with, now look at me moving this, and then the picture's going to be stuck in the wrong place. Okay, better. So there's going to be something like this and something like this. So I just need to decide how far down I'd like to put this one. And then it's going to have a brad going through it, through the hole. So, which is going to come out, here under the picture. That is why that needed to be done second. So the way I do this, right, I take my pokey tool, and I've used two different punches. This is a 1 inch, this is a, I don't know, and it's not labeled, but they're a nice kind of size to use together. So with this one, I'm just gonna do 4 so that I can glue them together, and then we can make this really nice. Now I could be using wet glue for all of this, and you could use wet glue. I just find glue stick easier to work with, and like I said, we're not really blessed with the most amazing wet glue here. So the reason I haven't put it together yet is this is already quite hard to pierce. Now in terms of how do you get the middle, I make a dot because I feel like I can eyeball it better before I stick the pokey tool in there, but it's kind of always a bit of a luck of the draw. Okay, this is just a little foamy thing. I don't know where I got it from, some sort of packaging, because you just need something soft underneath, and you pokey. We got a hole. This hole is actually going to need to be made quite a bit bigger so the brad can fit through it, the little brad legs. And here, it's another hole.
Wrapping its fog about its breast, the ruin moulders into rest, looking like Leith, see the lake, a conscious slumber seems to take, and would not for the world awake. All beauty sleeps, and lo, where lies her casement open to the skies.
I'm going to put the brads in, and because the actual string part is going to be at the top of the closure of the whatever that is, closure, I'm not going to worry about this needing to have the string around it, because the string is not originating from this one. So I'm just going to take 2 brads, and I'm first going to try get them through here. I might, need to pokey tool this a little bit bigger so the legs fit. Right. See, so it kind of looks like that. And here's the little legs. So now for both of these, I'm just going to do the one. And then I'll do the second top one later. Okay, so I need to remember these are going like this. So I might want to put an eyelet somewhere here so that they can hang. So what if, well, this is not going to go that high. I don't know why. I'm just looking on here how I would want this to go. I quite like that. It's interesting. I like the whole sidey side thing. Now I'm just going to put a dot here because I am guaranteed, like a really ugly dot, which will be covered, because I am absolutely guaranteed to forget that that is what I decided to do by the time I get there. And then this one can go like opposite way.
Irene with her destinies. O lady bright, can it be right? This window open to the night? The wanton airs from the tree top, laughingly through the lattice drop. The bodiless airs, a wizard rout, flit through the chambers in and out.
Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this with sellotape. So we cover this, okay. I realize that looks absolutely horrendous from the dirt on my hands, but again, just remember, no one's going to see that, so it doesn't really matter. I feel like this cutter genuinely does not make things easier, harder maybe. Okay. This one's not even that fully covered, but it should be a-okay. All right, now it's time for the pictures. Only now. Get my glue book again. You guys know this part already. Okay, so now we have the pictures. We have this stenciled, so it looks nice when you open it. Now we bring out the big guns. All right. What's going to happen now is we are doing the shaker portion of this. To stick acetate on, I use double-sided tape because, like I said, my glue selections are very limited. Nothing seems to stick acetate down. So what I did in advance is I don't know if you can see. There we go. I actually ink dyed these acetate sheets so they can look like grungier windows like that. And what I want to do now is do some stamping so that they look like stained glass windows, and I realize now that you're not going to see anything. Here we go. You can see a little bit better on this. Okay, so I chose this one in advance. You'll see what it looks like now. And I'm using Stays On because otherwise it will, it can rub off. So Stays On is a permanent ink. So I thought this looked a little bit like a stained glass window pattern. I quite liked it. So I'm not going to do it all over. I'm just going to plop one in the middle or just off, or wherever. And you see, you can barely see it, but that is kind of exactly what I was going for. Alright, so now we've got the windows. This also shouldn't smudge, but let's let it dry for a second. So we've got the windows. So now what I'm going to do is, I don't know if there's some that needs to be cut off. Maybe a little bit at the top. And I'll tell you why I'm doing this. Because I love to complicate my life. I cut a tiny bit off of the side. If it's not completely straight, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. Okay, so now we get this, and I'm just going to put it, I don't even know how, I guess around like this.
And wave the curtain canopy so fitfully, so carefully, above the closed and fringed lid, neath which thy slumbering soul lies hid, that over the floor and down the wall, like ghosts the shadows rise and fall. O lady dear, hast thou no fear? Why and what art thou dreaming here?
Now, the next part is, I'm kind of making a shaker within a shaker. It sounds more complicated than what it is, but let's just call it that for now. So I've got my little shaky bits here that are going to go into this one. And I'm going to just grab a couple of baby bats. I didn't actually look how many I had in here, but come on, come on. You can do it. There's another baby bat. You're too big, bat. Perfect. Let's do those 6. So let's go 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then this we also need to share out. So this is a mixture of sequins and what are those teeny tiny beads called? Like the very, very small ones. They're almost invisible. They're that big. I can't for the life of me remember their name right now, but that's basically what is in here. I like using beads. I don't like using glitter because it sticks. It doesn't move nicely. Whereas these are like proper little plastic balls, so they move everything around. Okay, now what we are doing is, this will all make sense soon, I promise, is we are putting this puppy over, and that is going to be the shaker.
Sure thou art come over far-off seas, a wonder to these garden trees. Strange is thy pallor, strange thy dress, strange above all thy length of tress, and all the solemn silentness. The lady sleeps, oh may her sleep, which is enduring, so be deep. Heaven have her in its sacred keep, this chamber changed for one more holy, this bed for one more melancholy. I pray to God that she may lie forever with unopened eye, while the dim-sheeted ghosts go by. My love, she sleeps, oh may her sleep, as it is lasting, so be deep. Soft may the worms about her creep, far in the forest, dim and old, for her may some tall vault unfold.
Okay, and 3, 2, 1. This is like a moment of truth. Sorry, there's a reflection from the light, but it's moving beautifully. Okay, now remember I said this was going to be a shaker within a shaker. So the kit has these games, game boards and game pieces, and I'm going to be putting game pieces in here. That is why the envelope needed to be able to open up, so that you can take the pieces out, play the game, put the pieces back. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the pieces. I'm just putting some stuff here where there is glue because I don't want this envelope to glue itself shut. Okay, let me show you. So there's a drafts board and there is vines and ladders. I think it's vines and ladders. So vines and ladders, you can have 6 players. These are the your little play tokens. So we've got a witch, a skeleton, a mummy, vampire, werewolf, and death. Then for the other envelope, this is drafts. So there's 6 dragons and 6 Draculas. Now I've actually never played drafts. I have no idea how it's done, but I'm assuming it requires 2 people and each person gets 6 play pieces, and then yeah. So I just need to see what's gonna go where. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but we can put let's put the drafts in here. So I'm not going to put it in yet. I'm first going to glue the envelope shut. Okay, so let's do that. The other envelope, I'm going to do exactly the same way. I'll do that one off camera, and I don't want people getting bored and frustrated. So let's grab the glue book and let's glue this puppy down. Now I do want this really well glued down, so I am wondering whether this is going to be enough. I mean, it should, with the way that these pictures stuck that I had to remove. They were... did I really just do that? Did I really just glue the wrong side? Yep, did. Glued the wrong side. So I guess these are sticking down. It's okay, there should be enough space in the envelope. Gosh, it confused me because this side is printed. So I thought, okay, so this is going to take some depth out of the envelope, but let's hope that it will still be fine to fit all the pieces. I guess that's sort of the only worry here. Okay, so basically that's that. Actually looks really nice. I know it's not really coming out, but all the details look so good in real life, IRL. So basically, okay guys, so I don't know if any of you picked it up, but I made a big boo-boo, which I'm now going to show you how possible it is to fix absolutely anything. So my idea, if you remember that I told you at the beginning, was to have two envelopes glued together, well, glued on three sides, and then a tag in here. But now I can't glue these two sides because why did I make a window then? And I can't glue these sides because then you won't be able to open the envelope. So what I'm going to do is, okay, very fixable. We are going to take this puppy out, okay, and we are then going to put it this side, okay, with its little friend. This flap we're going to move to the back, cut it off. This part is going to stick here and then close it like that. You won't see that because remember it will be these two sides are getting glued together. So that is one of the options for fixing. I did think of another one, which was leave everything be and just make this kind of almost like a little booklet that closes, and then this is in here while it's closed, and then it can open, and then you see the shakers. But I don't know if I love that. I was really liking the idea of having this almost as like one double-sided shaker card. So completely fixable. Remember, this hole is going to be inside, so pulling this out is not a problem. So this one, which is open, is obviously a lot easier than the other one. So we just move the sellotape over. We're going to lift this 1, 2, take it out. No harm, no foul over there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure, because when this goes up, can you see it covers this, and that's going to be the closure, so it's going to be up all the time. So I have to fold this down to the level of how much is not going to cover the the coffin, if you know what I mean. So I want to make it more or less the same. So I'll fold this one down a little bit more, and then, gosh, it's so weird that there's such different sizes. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. It's not something you're going to notice. Okay, and I can straighten it just now. Okay, so watch this. I'm gonna cut these off. Ta-da! I'm gonna cut these off. Ta-da! This part is now going to be used. It's going to be glued to here. Remember, these two are getting stuck together. You won't see this, but I mean, it's not even noticeable. So that's going to get glued to the back so that it can still close this. Okay? Still a rounded flap, everything. Now you might have noticed this is a lot smaller. So I'm going to have to do away with the brown circle because I need to actually be able to fit the closure onto here. Now another option is you could change the closure to be one of those tiny little Velcro dots. You could put magnets. I could do a magnet, but I mean, I like this closure, so I'm thinking it will probably fit if I just make it the smaller size. So let's just try that quick. Let's try punching the smaller size and seeing, is it going to fit on here? Kind of like barely. So then this is what it would look like. Let's see if it looks silly or not. So it would be, I mean, whichever side you pick. One there, one there. Yeah, it's not bad. What I can do is, there's quite a lot of clearance here. So what I can do is I can also make this a bit longer. Let's check it now, that it's not covering the coffin, the window. Perfect. And this will fit nicely on it now. Yes. Okay. So I'm sure you understand now. I'll show you that this can be removed. So this has been glued closed. It's even been glued closed wrong because of leaving less space and all of that. Now, if you look inside here, okay, I need to get that sellotape off. Right, so I'm going to use my pokey tool to lift the sellotape. It's not like super strong, this tape. There we go, got it. I don't know if I can show you, if you can actually see what I'm doing inside on camera. I doubt it. But anyways, got the tape. I'm going to lift it now with the power of my mind. Okay, I'm going to close these leggies. One. Do the other one. Actually there. So I tore a hole. You can barely see it. There is sellotape in here to seal it. Plus, it doesn't matter if there's a hole because these two are going to be glued together. So it's actually all absolutely fine. Now, I don't want to bore you to death with redoing these. I've shown you how I'm going to do them. So I'm just going to pause quickly and I'm going to do the magic fix thing.
Some vault that oft hath flung its black and winged panels fluttering back, triumphant over the crested palls of her grand family funerals. Some sepulchre remote, alone, against whose portals she hath thrown, in childhood, many an idle stone. Some tomb from out whose sounding door she never shall force an echo more. Thrilling to think, poor child of sin, it was the dead who groaned within.